we put on the weight on purpose because we finished the movie and then we said, you know what, we should do a couple of scenes with Mickey out of shape. So while I was filming the other guys, I was stuffing my face and put on 30 pounds. We did those scenes with me in the mirror and a couple of other scenes with me out of shape. And then they were like, let's do a couple of pickups for the last fight.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I can't do that now. And they were like, well, how long will it take you to lose 30 pounds? I said, I don't know, I'll do it in 5 weeks. But at least I was so excited about doing that because A, I hadn't trained for 8 months, and B, well, not to the extent that I was, and B, there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
The movie was done, and we knew we had something special, so it was worth it to go back there and do it again.
I read something I thought was really cool, that you looked up your daughter to meet Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Which I find ironic too, because so many kids probably back in the day too were admiring you.
Yeah.
And now you get to those are the great perks, I guess.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought, you know, my daughter's a little too young to be wanting to meet a boy. I was thinking maybe 13 or 14 I'll start having to deal with that. But at first she wanted to talk to him on the phone. So I called. He was nice enough to call me back. I got her on the phone. And then she wants to meet him. So I'm like, oh, God. But he's a sweetheart, you know. And she was just, you know, I was the best dad for a day, and now I got to track down Selena Gomez. I don't know where she is, but I got to track. I got to track her down, man. It's like
those are the things I got to look forward to with the little girls.
Yeah, but it's the best. There's nothing better than a relationship between daddy and daughter.
If there's not an Oscar with your name on it at the end of this, I mean that's by far the best performance I've seen.
Well, thanks for saying. Appreciate it.
I'm serious, man, and you just completely stole the movie, and it was just unbelievable. And then again, knowing Dickie and the way you captured that, I was like, wow. And
he's quite a character, you know. Dickie's a real character. Yeah.
And ultimately, this movie's a visit to you when you just read the script that drew you to it.
These are just fascinating characters, you know, the bond between the two brothers, the naturally gifted Dickie, you know, but who squandered his talents because it just came too easy to him. The life lessons that he had to learn, you know, the funny guy that he is. I mean, man, Dickie is such great company, but just, you know, like the parties, like the drugs, like the booze a little too much. He's just got this genetic makeup where he was able to drink like crazy and then jump in a ring and still win, but eventually caught up with him when he started with crack. And like he said, you know, once you start with the crack, then you forget everything that you love, you know, including family, including boxing. Doesn't matter what it is. It's all about the crack, and that ruined him. And I think he would have been champ, you know, had it not been for the crack.
He did it before in The Machinist. What approach do you usually take? Obviously the training, but aside from that, in dropping so much weight?
No secret to it. I mean, first of all, I don't go looking for it, you know. I mean, to me, every time I go, damn, I've done it again. I picked a character, and man, Dickie's going to have to be a welterweight. I'm not a welterweight. I got to lose some weight for that. It's no easier for me than anybody else. I'm starving. I'm hungry as hell. But you know, there's nothing like boxing to get you into shape and to drop pounds.
Boxing, as opposed to any other sport, has really resonated on film, from like Rocky to Raging Bull, Cinderella Man. I mean,
I think there's a few reasons. I think it's just the fact that it's one-on-one. I think that you know, that there are these guys going in there who are taking the risk because one is going to absolutely lose and one is absolutely going to triumph. You know, it's a basic primal instinct of ours to be interested in a fight. And there's something about boxers, rightly or wrongly, but for me, I like them. I don't know what it is about it, but I always tend to look at boxers and I think they're honest people, they're good people. You know, yeah, there's something about it that's noble. Whether that's right or not, that's the impression I get, you know? So I like them and I want to see them.
An interview that you did with Esquire magazine that you talked about having like a sissy job. I wasn't sure exactly what you meant by that.
Oh, well, you know, it's a sissy job, isn't it? You got a sissy job as well, you know? Just admit it, you know?
Well, the job may be sissy, but
look,
I'm far from
we walked in here, I came here this morning, and, you know, they put a bit of makeup on, so we look nice, you know? Every time my hair goes like that, somebody walks in and goes, does that to it, you know what I mean? It's not a tough job, you know what I mean?
Hey,
now the thing, absolutely it does. I appreciate it knowing that I love what I do. I love what I do, but my point being that you can take the easy way out. Like with anything, you can take the easy way out and take the shortcut and really not be kind of, you know, rolling your sleeves up and getting your hands dirty. Or you can choose to really push it. And to me, that was the point I was making with acting, that the only time it's phony, the only time it's sissy is if you don't push it far enough, you know? Because what I love about it is the opportunity to put myself in other people's shoes, to have that empathy, and to truly try to understand what it's like to walk in those shoes with other people. And when you can do that, then it really becomes something extraordinary.
I love that you said you're a big admirer of Steve McQueen, because I'm a huge favorite.
Who isn't?
Yeah. What's your favorite McQueen film?
I always really liked the Cincinnati Kid. I like Bullet a hell of a lot. Great Escape, of course.
I'm going
You know,
Papillon.
that is just brilliant. Papillon is just a brilliant movie. Yeah, somebody talked to me about a remake of that recently, and I went, "You can't do it. Come on."
Oh wow! But if anyone could, you'd be.
No, but you know what?
That'd
You
be
just don't
awesome.
want to do that. And also, whilst I say I think Steve McQueen was a wonderful actor, but he was an incredible movie star, and I couldn't even begin to do what he does. I have no plan. You know, I don't really have any plans for my career, but what I do is I love shape-shifting, and that's not the same thing that he does at all. You know, he's somebody who you kind of know what you're going to get. You kind of know what you're going to get. You love it every time regardless, and you want to be him. I can't do that, you know. I don't have the same belief in myself that that guy must have had. I believe in myself only when I can kind of destroy myself and create a new character and then communicate through that new character instead.
You have no plans really as an actor, but is there a certain role or a certain story that you want to tell, like a passion project?
You know, there are things that I get obsessed about, but there's no one character that I've thought, my life goal would be to do that. I tend to just get obsessive about whatever has been put in front of me that, for whatever reason, just absorbs me.
This movie, and I know it was such an ordeal to finally get it done, and it was on hold, and there was different names attached at different points, but it turned out amazing, bro.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
kicked
You wouldn't
ass
think
in
with
it.
the material that it would be a no-brainer, right? I
Right.
mean, everybody would want to jump in and sign up, but for whatever reason, just couldn't get it off the ground. But it was too good. I made a commitment and a promise to Mickey, and I was willing to fight to get it made. The training and all those things just kept pushing me, and I would get discouraged every once in a while, but I had to get it done.
The movie's all about family, right? And the loyalty to
Yeah, I
the
mean,
brothers,
boxing is a backdrop.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
yeah, boxing. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I want to get to that in a second. But I mean, being that you're so close with Donnie too, is that just part of the relation with the character that really resonated with you?
Of course. I mean, there are so many similarities between Mickey, Dickie, me, Donnie, the families in general. You know, we both have 9 kids in our family. We grew up 30 minutes from each other. We both had to overcome huge amounts of adversity to get to where we are. And, you know, we're all from the real world. And yes, it was like, it's just, you know, we always laughed about it, you know. Dickie could have easily been my brother, and Donnie could have easily been Mickey's brother. First of all, you know as well as I do that boxing is the sport in which all others aspire to be. There is nothing more difficult. The journey of most fighters, they usually have an amazing story behind them. And, you know, I mean, all I ever wanted to do was have a belt around my waist, you know, to be able to do that in a film. And their lives, their journeys are so difficult. I mean, how many people get to be the champion? Most fighters never get the chance, you know. They never get the big paydays, and their lives are usually pretty dramatic, and you know, and make for good storytelling.
It's funny because I was actually getting to work Manny's last fight in Dallas, and I was in the dressing room with Freddie and those guys, and you called.
Yeah.
You called Freddie. He was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Yeah.
So you called him, and I was curious as to what you said to him, just wishing him luck.
Well, it was one of the rare occasions where my wife was allowing me to play golf on a Saturday. So I stopped at St. Martin's Church on Sunset. I went in to say a special prayer for Manny and Freddie, and I just called saying, you know, I was going to leave a message saying good luck, and he picked up the phone, and then he called me back with Manny on the phone. And I was just, you know, 24/7 just does such a good job of making you think that Manny's going to lose or he's in over his head.
Right.
And, you know, I'm concerned, and I was concerned for Margarito, too, you know. I think, you know, I'm always concerned for both fighters. But, you know, Manny's just such a special guy and such an inspiration to so many people. You know, I wanted to wish him the best and know that, you know, I was thinking about him and do what he does.
You mentioned 24/7. I got to say, just as a producer, Mark, the way you're able to pick material and select what you wanted from Entourage to now my new favorite show, Boardwalk Empire, how is it that you, because I'm sure you got a lot of stuff thrown your way, what's the selection process like that you attach yourself to?
Well, we want to make stuff that we would want to watch, and we think guys like us would want to watch. Stuff that's different. We want to do stuff out of the box, like in treatment, and just quality stuff. And when you're working at a place like HBO, there's no room for anything other than quality. So, you know, but we want to, you know, with acting and with producing, I want to continue to challenge myself and try different things and just make good stuff. You know, if you can make good stuff, then you have a chance of, you know, having a lengthy career. Everything I have away, all the success in movies and television and everything else that I've done, to have been a world champion at one point or another, then it's not even a question. Give me the belt.
It's often said that boxing is a metaphor for life. What would you say is the most important ingredient to your own success?
Just sheer dedication, you know. I never take no for an answer, you know. I mean, the fact that former underwear model / white rapper was able to create the career that I have was frowned upon. I was being laughed at, but I didn't mind. You know, it was all about putting in the work. You know, you put in the work. You know, you got to put in the road work. You got to put time in the gym, and you got to show up ready to go.